we want to be in this together, guys. Let's keep praying for each other. Let's keep our thoughts with those who are in hard times. Right, this morning we shared something about desire because we are finding it sometimes discouraging. Sometimes when things are not going the way you are expecting or the way you were expecting, you kind of get discouraged. And we were saying, how do we keep up? How do we continue? How do we keep up with these, whatever we've started? So one of the things we looked into is what Jesus did was that Jesus had what we know as the 12 disciples. We know he had 12 disciples. So to us, what it means is that when someone has 12 disciples, it means this person has inside them 12 disciplines. We call them disciplines. So before a disciple there was a discipline. So a discipline comes before a disciple. So a disciple is the person, but inside him, this person, he exercises disciplines. So what it means is that for you to qualify or for there to be a Jesus, there has to be 12 in him, not outside. Outside, fine, you can employ those who are outside. That's why we were saying you find each time Jesus employed those outside, he employed to teach them the disciplines he had in him. So he had to give what he had. That's why you find most of them, they couldn't do certain things. Peter couldn't catch fish because he missed these disciplines in him. It's when you get these disciplines in you that you start having an ability, a supernatural ability, should we call it. So it consists of disciplines. It's about disciplines, guys. It's about discipline. Without these disciplines, you are destroyed. So one of the disciplines that we were looking at this morning is the first discipline you all need. Everyone needs this discipline. You need the discipline of desire, which in the Bible, desire equals to Andrew. Desire is Andrew. You find it's written as Andrew. So when it's externalized, it's Andrew. When it's internalized, it's desire. Everyone has to have desire. Without desire, you can't continue on a journey. You have to have a desire. Desire to see things finished, a desire to persist, a desire to continue, a desire to manage, a desire to be patient, a desire to love, most importantly, then a desire to have faith, a desire. We're going to be looking into all the 12, but you will find that the discipline that has to connect with all disciplines is Andrew, or the desire, the discipline of desire. And it would continue in every discipline. Desire has to be applied. Without that, we are all gone. So in times like this, I think we are all sort of having this discouragement. Someone might have lost their job, or someone, they're not certain what's going to happen. They've been stopped working, they're isolated, or someone might be thinking of changing their job because maybe what they've been doing really, it's not working for them, and it's maybe time to evaluate and change. So this is time to apply a desire for something. If there's something you've identified, this is time to apply this discipline of desire. It works. You have to desire. Otherwise, if we didn't have desire, imagine, we wouldn't be here today. So maybe today there's someone out there with a desire to learn, and maybe there's someone out here yeah, with a desire to maybe teach. That might be my desire. Just like Jesus, he had a desire to teach. He was a rabbi. He was a teacher. So we all got different desires. Should we put it that way? We all got, different desires. So if you look at the verse we've been looking at today, Joe, Matthew 25. Right. If we read Matthew 25, can we read it for us, Joe? There's something we just want to share now. We're going right into the scripture, see how we can use Matthew 25 according to what Dream Blazers calls desire. How should we apply desire? Matthew 25.
Matthew 25.
Yes.
The parable of talents. For it to be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted them in his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to each one according to his ability. Then he went away. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 more talents. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the whole ground and hid his master's money. Now, after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he also who had 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you delivered to me 2 talents. Here I've made 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He who had also received 1 talent came forward, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours. But this master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have in abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Mm-hmm. So, talents are to be received. That's number 1. Let's look at that. Talents are to be received. But reception of talents are according to our abilities. So to each according to their ability. So we have 2 things here. So we've got talents and we've got ability, right? So talents are received, but ability, right? Ability. So I think this is something we've been talking about since the past 3 weeks. So let's draw that. Let's draw our Andrew. Today we call him Andrew. Joe, can we call him Andrew, our friend?
Just for today only.
So today let's draw Andrew here. That's our Andrew, right? Andrew, we want to give him talents and we don't give him ability. ability already exists. Right? So it was according to their ability, right? So let's go again. What we always do. We don't change. This is the formula of creation. We don't change, yeah? That's the cross, those who want to know. So, the scripture is saying this person was given talents, yeah? There were lots of them, but let's say this one, let's talk about this one. He's given talents, but he's given the talents according to his ability. So it means ability is in existence. You can see there. So ability is already there according to ability. Then we asked a question this morning. Oh, it's you can see here. So ability, then let's put talents here. Right. The whole idea is to multiply. The whole idea is to multiply. So we've got ability, then we've got in existence, we have ability, then we have talents, right? But the whole idea was to multiply. Let's put that. Multiply. So become fruitful and multiply. Right. So what are we saying today? We were talking about desire this morning, right? So there's a statement there that just says those who have. Is it Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Those who have.
For those who has will more be given.
So for those who
has.
So who has? Is it right English? Okay. So those who has. So has what? Maybe that's the equation we were talking this morning. Those who has what? Right? So we said those who have or those who has more desire. Those who have more desire, even more will be given to them. So desire, that's why we say you need to apply desire, right? So those who have more desire, even more will be given to them, right? So let's talk about here. We got ability and we got talents. So this gentleman is given talents according to his ability. So ability represents the ability to what? To create. Let me put it this way. Let me simplify it otherwise than going. So the ability to create, you have to have an ability to create. So your talents are given according to your ability to create. What? How do you create? You create through desire. If you don't desire, there's no creation. Those who create, they have a desire. They will have a desire of something so that they can create. Creation sometimes is not something we get to see that someone is creating because it's all happening there. So desire, ability, and all these are things in this factory here. So those who have ability to create, yeah, those who have the ability also to desire, those who desire more, yeah, they'll be given even more. So talents, like we said, they are to be received. How are they received? The Bible is saying they are received according to your ability. So if you don't have the ability, if you don't have the ability to desire, if you don't have the ability to create, let me put it that way, but today we're using desire, then your talents are limited, so much that the Bible is even saying those who have even more will be given, and those who have even little will be taken away from them and given to those who have more. Right? So, like we said, the whole idea is to multiply. Right, guys, let me say something that is very important. I want to say something because in our line of duty, in our line of our work, the West, not the West, or let me say the most thing that shocks us is that those who have who are more talented, let me put it that way, they seem to be less, no, let me say that. Those who have more ability, those who have more ability, those who are, they seem not to do much. Why? They are the ones, I think, who hide their talents. They are those who who have hidden the talents they were given. They received talents according to their ability. So there's something about those who were given less. It means those who are given less, they've got the ability to create more. Those who are given less, they've got more chances of doing, they've got that power of multiplying things. Those who are given more, they have less chances of making, so they make so many mistakes. But those who have less, who are given less, we know that if you just give them one talent, they can multiply. But those who are given maybe 5, 10, it means they have, they want to have more chances of doing things before they can succeed, right? Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because in most cases, those who are said to bury their talents, they are the ones who can do much with less. So how are they burying their talents? In most cases, in our, say, here in UK, those who are in UK, said that you are burying your shift by going, sorry, you are burying your talent by going to a shift. You are burying your talent by going to a shift. Yet you have the ability to create more. Right? Does it make sense? So most of those who have that ability, they are burying their talents in the ground, but they have that ability to do more. And it's those who have less ability, but who have more talents. I think those are the ones who are out there, doing, trying to do. Someone was saying, why do those? I want to put it that way, the way they were putting it. So why is that those who didn't quite do well are the ones who employ those who've done well? Does it make sense?
Yes.
So I think I can't put it well there, but that's what I'm trying to put across. Anyway, so guys, today this afternoon we're going to demonstrate on a real, is it real?
A real project.
A real project. And this project, we've been carrying it for years and years, and we just want to share our project we've been carrying for years and years, and this is our desire. This is where we are going. This is our vision, and we're going to put it into a project and see if someone can be inspired in that. Right. But before I introduce Joe, let me say this one again about abilities and talents and multiplying. So we are saying today, you must have more desire. Okay. The more desire you have, the more you can continue in whatever you are doing. If you have less desire in what you are doing, then less also will be given unto you. In most cases, it is likely to be taken from you and given to those who have more desire. It's not about those who have more money. It's not about the money. It's about those who have more desire. All starts with your mindset, your desire. That's why we were saying Andrew is the first discipline. You need to get started in whatever you are doing. You need desire. Without desire, so I just want to encourage someone today to continue, having a desire in whatever they are doing. Have a desire, have a discipline of desire. Without desire, you are likely to crumble and fall and never come back. Right, Joe, can we introduce your project? Then I'll continue later with where I've started. There you are. Right.
Hello, welcome everyone. A very good afternoon. We are meeting again. Thank you so much for keeping us company, and thank you so much for being cautious, observing all the necessary instructions about social distancing, hand washing, and staying safe. Also extending warm condolences to those who have lost their loved ones. We all love you, and it's great to be in your company all the time. Thank you so much for joining us. Right, I'm really excited today because we're just gonna demonstrate, because there's one thing that we need to understand. Being rich, right? I'll highlight a few things, then we'll go into the theme of things for today, and the business of today. But I just want to explain something today. Being rich, right? Being rich is measured in dollars, right? Being rich is measured in dollars. But being wealthy, right? Wealth is measured in time, right? Rich is measured in dollars, wealth is measured in time. Some people, or the majority of us, we believe that having £1 million, right? £1 million, right? You are rich. But what it means is that with £1 million, 100K expenditure for 10 months. For 10 months, you've blown your wealth. You see. So the choice is it better to be rich or is better to be wealth? The question is, how do we spend our time? So with this in mind, my colleague Morgan earlier on was talking about desire. Now, today we thought we need to bring to you a project that can relate to us. These days, we have a situation where there is a lot of bereavement. So I will highlight that, and we take Andrew on board, right? There are few issues, so we need to leverage on projects that we have to do to be relevant, to attract funding in the times that we are. So what are we saying? That the time that we are, they are creating enough opportunities for attracting funding. More problems, more money. That's what it means. We have a lot of bereavement, right? Bereavement, right, comes with mental illness or mental illnesses. It comes with stress, comes with anxiety. Stress, anxiety, comes depression, for example, you see. So we've got this massive bereavement curve that is on the upward trend. And bereavement itself carries a lot of weight, a lot of burden on our communities in terms of mental illnesses, in terms of stress, in terms of anxiety, in terms of depression. So when we have this kind of an existence amongst us, it affects young and old, families, right? So our project today how can we be relevant in terms of looking at a project that will help us to be productive in COVID or post-COVID. So today we are going to look at a special project. This has been a dream project for us in many years. I'll tell you tons and tons of stories regarding this project. But today we will just want to share with you the relevance of what we talk and what we share about. The project that we are going to talk about is called a project called the African Village. The African Village. So people right now, they're isolated. They are mourning in their homes, in whatever respective places. There is a lot of depression, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of liquid emotions flying about. So what are we saying? We want to support those people by launching a project. People can't travel right now, but what are we going to do? We're going to have an African village. We will launch what we call a virtual African village. So where is this virtual African village going to be located? This African village is going to be in your house. Yes, in your house, right there. Right? In a virtual African village. It's going to be located in your house. What do we mean by that? The virtual village will be a platform. It will be a website. We're going to have a website. This website is called the African Village. So instead, because of no traveling at the moment, no planes are going, as we're not having the normal things that we normally do, traveling and all that. So instead of traveling, there are so many people who maybe cannot afford even right now to go to Africa, or they wish to go to Africa. But we are going to take Africa on their doorsteps through this project. It's called the African Village. The African Village will form the basis of therapy for mental health illnesses brought about due to bereavement. We will have a space for distressing. How we're going to implement it? This African Village will be accompanied by a museum, a virtual museum. We have an education suite, right? And it will have a round hut, for example. Round hut. A typical round house, but it will be drawn virtually, right? So what are we going to do to make it sustainable? We'll get funding, right, to make this educational village, or let's say the African village. It would have so many sustainable tools or sustainable entrances. First of all, the virtual museum. People have to pay a nominal fee, right, on a sliding scale. We've got the funding, we've made the African village, but we want people to come to our village because we know how to make the best traditional brew. I don't know what it is, brew, traditional brew in your language, but this is where we're going to be making it. But we are going to charge people to make this village sustainable. Our chief demands goats, all the currencies in diamonds. So a nominal fee will be charged for entrance into the virtual village, whereby we see the African dinosaurs and the Jurassic Park of Africa. It will be located in there. So apart from physically taking a plane, people can actually pay a nominal fee to enter into a virtual African village and enter into a museum, whereby we can build connections or relations with our resort places, like Victoria Falls, Nyanga. We can bring them online. They're big, they can connect us, they can take a live video that can feed into our website. And those live feeds can only be accessible after paying a nominal fee. We haven't gone anywhere. This is the pictorial and the physical activity that is sustainable, purely sustainable. Taking Africa, the continent, right into your house, pay a fee. So who else? Anyone can now visit Africa, no matter where they are. On your mobile phone, in your own house, take a tour, see the dinosaurs, see how African hearts, games for children as well online, on how African hearts, they are built, what sort of materials, what sort of equipment that are needed to build an African heart. And also they will be able to have access to traditional games like in Shona they call it nodo. I don't know what you call it in your language, whereby you've got a couple of stones that you pick and drop and things like that. Those games were relevant. Why? They were teaching our children skills like dexterity and discipline and building their ability to live independently. So what we have gathered today is a project, African model, sit in your house. It's a virtual entity. It's a museum. It's an educational suite where there's so many languages reaching out. Nigeria, I don't know how many languages, but to access those languages, you pay a nominal fee. You enter the educational suite, then you select the languages that you want to learn, and there will be a teacher, a virtual teacher that will be waiting for you. So this whole concept becomes a therapy room, also becomes a tourism resort, and it also becomes a de-stressing center for everyone, regardless of age, regardless of age. So you don't need a currency, you don't need to go into the plane. So that's the whole concept. So this we're just demonstrating how we can come up with a project, sustainable project, and how you can actually bring Africa into your room, into your kitchen, into your dining room, into your secret spaces. That Africa is a virtual museum with all the traditional African things, the traditional dresses, how to make them, everyone, every skill that you want. Even the traditional healers as well, they will have their own space. I don't know, to be honest, what they'll be doing, but you can pay a nominal fee for consultation in the traditional village. Thank you very much. Okay.
Well done. Only me shot. Well done. It sounds crazy, isn't it? But I think this is where we are going. We are talking of the ability to create. That's creation on its own. He's created, is it African dinosaurs? Now we got African dinosaurs. Guys, look, in this world, one of the things we want to teach people is that you have to have an ability to create. You have to have a desire to create. You have to have that. Without that ability to create, you are nothing. Because in most cases, we are, imagine, we are paying to go and watch a movie about dinosaurs, which we are told an ancient story that can never be evidenced. They will come up with a story, create these dinosaurs, and we are paying a lot of money. Why don't we do this in Africa? Why don't we create, these things? So I think this is the time to create. And today we are teaching that you have to have a desire. You have a desire. Have a desire of creation. Have a desire in a lot of things. Desire, maybe to those who are just training us, they might be wondering, what are we talking about, right? So in the morning, we have introduced this week, from this week until the next 12 weeks, each week, each Saturday, we're going to be talking about a discipline. We're going to be talking about 12 disciplines, but today we're talking about one of the disciplines. And according to the Bible, these disciplines, they were introduced in a certain order. And each time these disciplines were introduced, one would introduce the other in a certain order. It's in a particular order that these disciplines, were employed. So all that employing of Peter, John, or the employing of Andrew, and so forth, this was an order of how Jesus was employing disciplines in himself. So by the time he had 12 disciplines, he was whole now, and he had now to give them out. He had to teach these disciplines and externalize them. Why? So that he can have now these disciplines working for him. You can see at some point they'll say Jesus' name was being talked about, but it wasn't actually about him doing the work. It was these disciplines, now disciples, running with the vision, right? So what are we saying? We are saying there are certain disciplines in life you need to introduce, or you should. It's a must actually. You shouldn't introduce, but it's a must that you have 12 disciplines. And these disciplines, you employ them in a certain order. What women practically, where there's no desire, there's no faith. Where there's no desire, there's no persistence. Where there's no desire, there's no patience. Where there's no desire, there's no love. If love is just love without desire, then it remains useless. You use it less. But if you want to use it more, have a desire in everything, right? So that's the beginning of every creation, is desire. Once you have a desire in something, you definitely see it through. So we were just talking to those who may be discouraged on this journey, or those who may be joining in and they wondering, how are they going to get to the end? So getting to the end is desire. You have to desire. That's why you see we keep coming every Saturday. Why? There's a desire burning in us. There's a desire, otherwise we could have stopped long back, but because of this desire, it keeps us going. It keeps us going, right? So with that, Joe, you didn't introduce your friend. So let me reintroduce Joe's friend again. Welcome back. And today, each week, we'll be calling this friend of ours names. And today we were working with Andrew. Today we are working with Andrew. So let's have Andrew back so that right? For those who just joined us, please welcome. And we are here to share information about you guys being effective. We are not effective, guys, in our community because we lack certain information. We lack inspiration. We lack, what can I say? There's so much discouragement in our community. We lack, inspiration. We lack positivity. Let's be positive, right? Let's have these platforms where we share information, not dissing each other. Let's share information, right? Right. So today we're sharing the information of disciplines, that you need certain disciplines to achieve certain things, or to be successful in life, you need disciplines. Jesus had 12 disciplines, and one of the disciplines he employed at an early stage, or you need to employ at an early age, is the discipline of desire, right? So I will continue with desire. Right now, right? So let's go with that, right, guys? In some ways, those who want to know, these parables and these stories, they are a repeat of the beginning. These are just a repeat of the beginning. So the beginning is always these three. There will always be these three. That's why now we are picking words like, I think those who have been with us all this time we're picking new words like ability. Not new words, but old words we've been working with. And then we had said capacity, yeah? And we said capability. Capability. Right? So today, just to get those who are joining or those who have been with us to understand something, is we are given talents according to our ability, right? Ability to do what? Right? Ability to do what? The ability to create. You should have an ability to create. Without an ability to create, talents might not be received. So reception, let's put it this way, Joe, maybe. So reception of talents is determined by your ability to create. Put it this way, the easiest way. So the receiving of talents, yeah? So you can have more talents. It's not just about one. These guys, they were given different talents, some 5, some 1, some 10. How? Because talents are generated by your ability to create. So without the ability to create, it means you will always have less, and those who have more, even the little you have will be taken away from you, right? So ability to create, which is caused by the ability to have desire, yeah, will always come, will always, what's the word for it? Will always we always attract talents. So if you want more talents, have the ability to create. So maybe the problem today might be, how do you have the ability to create? So have a desire. Have a desire in something. Without a desire in something, you never have the ability to create. So that's maybe the secret. If you want the ability to create, have a desire. Apply Andrew. Apply this guy. If you apply the desire in whatever you're doing, you start creating. So right now, where you are, have a desire in something you want to achieve or something new you want to. If it's a new job, have a desire in that. If it's a new project, if it's a new product, like me, I'm so sometimes, when I see something I like, I have so much desire in it, so much that I want to see it through. I want to get it done. So without Andrew, without this guy, your ability to create can be a problem. So have desire in whatever you're doing, right? So if you have started something, maybe let's talk to someone again today. Yeah, maybe talking to myself. If I have a desire, if I had started something, right, and then I'm discouraged by certain things, maybe certain things happen, especially external factors. We can't control those. So usually it's external factors that that affects us. Why? Because we have an ability to control our minds instead of controlling what's outside. What's outside, we can't control that. If it's going to rain today, it's going to rain upon us all. But how you are going to think about that is up to you. So you control, you have to have the ability to control. So right, so what I'm saying is, for us to begin to create where we are today, we want to create, because we were talking this morning about anticipating about the future so that we create new products. We have to be creating new products, just like Joe was giving us a project, which is a new product you can create. Why? Because the future now demands us to change a way we think, because of the speed of things, because of the change of direction of things, I think it demands a new thinking. So if ever you pick up on a new thinking today, I want you to put desire into that. So it means you'll spend a lot of your time now researching on that thing. Spend a lot of the time now, but that's what desire is. You spend now time researching, you want to know more about it, master it, study it. If it's a project, study it. If it's a product, study it, right? But have, please, desire. Another desire I think we can share about, have a desire of the future. Have a desire of new things. Don't be discouraged. Have a desire of new things. Have a desire of the future. Have a desire of new products. Have a desire of change. Have a desire of change. Don't have a desire of discouragement or a desire of saying, you wishing we go back to the old. No. Let's have a desire of, the new things to come. Because like I'm saying, some of these things, you're never going to be able to control it.
Someone is asking, but is desire natural or acquired?
It's acquired. How is it acquired? Someone is asking. All right.
Is
desire
natural or acquired?
Let's put this way. Let's put it this way, right? I'll put it in my thought. Desire is already there, right? But it needs to be activated. Desire is naturally in us, but it needs to be activated. Let me say on that point, let me say something. Let me tell you something. The worst thing with desire, so desire is there. We all got desire. But the problem with desire is, our desire is, we desire naturally. We desire in the negative. Natural. That's our problem. So I think our what we're trying to change the mindset at the moment is, why don't you desire for the positive? Why don't you desire for the positive? Remember, the problem here, Joe, is the knowledge of good and evil. It's that knowledge. That's the problem. So desire, Eve desired the knowledge of good and evil. It says she desired, she had a desire. It was a desire. Then what happened? Good and evil happened to her. Right? So what we're saying is, desire is in us. But in most cases, desire is favorable to the negative. Usually. That's the most, I was saying this morning, you find each time someone rebukes you, they want to tell you what not to do. They can tell you 10 things of what not to do, but they can never tell you of what to do. So it means desire is natural, but it's mainly taken by negative, isn't it? It's the negative we want to focus on. We don't focus on the positive. So yeah, desire is already in us, but we activate it by focusing on certain things. So you already have it, but you might desire in negative things, or you might desire in something that it doesn't really is productive. So yeah, desire is natural. It's in us.
So can desire be equated to zeal?
Can be desire be equated to zeal?
Zeal.
No. Zeal. Oh, zeal. Oh, yeah. That's another word. Actually, zeal is the word used for Paul. Yes. Paul is zeal in execution. So when God is coming, whoever said that question, I like that. Do you know why? Because so far, in applying next week, when we are applying the next, when we employ the next discipline, you'll find that this disciple had a desire in fishing. Peter had a desire in fishing. Then God said, your desire, I'll convert it to a desire of fishing people. So you are right. Zeal is another word for desire. When you have zeal Yeah, you have a desire. So zeal and desire can be negative or positive. You can have zeal in negative things, or you can have zeal in positive things. So to me, I'll say have zeal in positive things, so that positive things happen to you, because they say, as a man thinketh, so is he. So another question, Joy, is there another question before we move now?
No questions.
No questions. All right, thank you for that question. Very important. Yes, zeal is already there. Peter had a zeal in fishing. God found Peter with a zeal in fishing. God found Matthew with a zeal in accounts, and he needed that zeal in his company. So he employs Matthew to come and do some accounts. Then you employ Peter, faith, to come and have the zeal of whatever, fishing for people. So yeah, so now we see that zeal and desire, they are in it, they are in us, they're inbuilt, but we activate it and we point it towards different things. So I might point out my zeal to the wrong things or to negative things, and negative things will start to happen to me. Right. So with that, I think it brings me now to my conclusion, where I was saying the whole issue is, Joe, to have a capability, which is the whole issue is for us to multiply. That's the whole issue here we are talking about. Genesis 1, 2, 3. It's all about becoming fruitful and multiply. So what we are saying here is that without a discipline of desire, it might be difficult for you to continue on your journey. You have to have a desire on the journey, a desire to arrive, the desire to travel. If you don't have the journey to travel, the desire to travel a journey, then you will not make it. So I want everyone today to take projects as a journey. You are traveling on a motorway where you already know your exit, and you have a desire to arrive or a desire to get to the end. But before you get to the end, you have to have a desire to start the journey, of which you've already done, or someone might be contemplating and still thinking of that desire. Someone is procrastinating, maybe thinking of that journey. Once you get onto the journey, start seeing it finished. Have a desire to finish, but then have also a desire of patience. Have patience on the journey. You don't just boom, you arrive. No. I remember we used to travel every Saturday. Like now, we'll be traveling to London. 4 hours. True. Just 4 hours drive. Imagine. You have to have patience for you to reach the destination. Without patience, desire for patience, then you have to have desire to travel. If you don't have desire to travel, then forget about it. Then also, you have to have desire to learn. You have to have desire to learn. Then you have to have desire to listen. Then you also have desire to take time to have time. Yeah? Also desire to teach. Teach. You learn a lot in your teaching. Have desire. Guys, it's about desire. So today, the word is desire. Desire. This week, desire. Until next Saturday, we'll be talking about desire. Then next Saturday, we'll see how desire connects with faith. Because I know most of you like faith, which is Peter. In our next episode, we'll be talking about Peter. Peter is equivalent to faith. Peter is the external, and faith is the internal discipline. We have to have faith, right? So desire, desire, desire. Please have desire. Okay? Have desire. Without desire, nothing will get started. Without desire, nothing will get finished. So my desire today is for you to have a desire to finish what you have started. And my desire today is for you also to have a desire in teaching others what we are teaching you or what you are learning. Let's teach each other. Let's share information. Let's have this desire. But yeah, most of all, okay. So to finish off with Andrew, let's finish off with Andrew. Desire, right? So, guys, on our journey, we are traveling at the moment. I understand there's a lot of things going on, of which I want all of us to share these things, like we being discouraged maybe by the uncertainty of this journey. We don't know how long COVID-19 is going to last. So far, it's very uncertain. They're not telling us when. But I want to just encourage someone today before we close that please continue having a desire. Give yourself an exit, right? Say for the next 6 months, let's evaluate whatever we have started. For the next 6 months, where will we be? Because sometimes we evaluate too quickly. So sometimes what we call exit strategy, if you are in there too short, you might not achieve. If you are in there too long as well, it's not good. So just enough. So for the next 6 months, guys, let's travel on this journey. Let's see how much we can achieve. At the moment, like we were saying, there's a lot of challenges, especially the funding side. There's a lot of challenges, but don't be discouraged. Keep up with Andrew and keep up with Desire. We'll see you again next time, next week, and we will continue with the 12 disciplines of success, which is today we started with desire. Is that okay, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for watching, and please do share this video, and also please write to us on support@dreamblazersacademy.org. And also tomorrow 2 p.m. we continue with our Sunday discussions with Fundai, and we've got a panel tomorrow of another 5 people coming to have a discussion about our challenges. We are meeting while we are in this lockdown with our children. People are not sure what to do with the children. Are they going to continue with school? Are they going to start now, continue schooling at home? No one knows. So guys, thank you for watching, and let's continue this conversation. Desire, desire, desire. Let's keep it burning. Let's keep it blazing. Right. Is it leave? Leave. Who do that?